So this is about IT, Innovative Teachers in the Classroom Roundtable, and the idea of an event hosted at Blessed Mother Teresa on Wednesday, November 16th. And the idea here is to stress the innovative teachers and how they use technology in the classroom. So really, the idea is a simple one. And what we want to do is bring people together, innovative teachers, teachers who have been identified as innovative, hopefully by their principals and vice principals, in the idea of, okay, what do you do that's different in the classroom? What do you do that makes your teaching innovative? And how do you bring that through technology? And then how can you bring that to our roundtable to help other teachers do the same thing? So we'll give them some time. And here, I think the whole idea here is the idea of time and structure. So the time to step away from the grind, to step away from the craziness of the everyday, and to really sort of reflect on their teaching. And the structure is what I will provide as far as a structured discussion and then some structured work. There is going to be some sharing of best practices and some hashing out some ideas, and I'll present a few of them. And then to create something to use immediately. This is the key. We have to create on this. This can't be a theoretical exercise. This can't be philosophical, even pedagogical. It has to be an exercise that will create something. So my goal is to have people walk away with something. And aside from something tangible that they can use in their classrooms, they're going to create these connections and relationships. This will help with their own professional development. Hopefully, possibly will lead to some times that perhaps they can get together and use their own self-directed PD days to create something more, to build on that. And it will lay the groundwork for future projects, and those are either local within the superintendent area or board-wide, and I'll get into those in a second. So what are we talking about? The focus will be on the people, and this is where I think a lot of, or at least some conferences that I've been to that have been around technology can fall short in that they highlight the technology that's out there, which is fantastic. But really, what I want this to do is to say the most important thing that goes on here is the teacher and their innovation and their creativity and their caring enough to do more. And then all the technology is really a tool and an implement, something that can make that happen. So some people will be invited to present. I've already got a few ideas there. And I'm thinking that maybe even an hour is a little long, but a few people get up and say, okay, here's what I'm doing in the class. Here's how I'm using technology to look at things differently. Not just to present the content that was already presented anyway in a different way, but really doing something different. And I've got a few people in mind already, and I will invite people to do that. So we'll get the ball rolling, I think, that way. And then the hope is that I'll present three main ideas, and this will be the focus around which the whole the IT in the classroom project will focus. The first will be flipping the classroom. This is the idea of being able to use online resources and perhaps even as simple as videotaping or taping and creating these little blogs, podcasts that can be put up on websites, and BMT has already started to do that. So that the students can do these things at home and be able to work at their own pace, and then come into school with something, and then really work with the teachers from there. And that can be a very, very local idea. Student success and credit recovery, I have some ideas about that. This would be really the main focus. It can connect with the flipping the classroom idea, but really how can credit recovery and credit rescue be expanded, be improved upon? I think it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and something that I would like to see improved upon, and how can it be with innovation and with IT. And then grade 8 transition is more of an SSLN thing, but something that we can work at as well. And so what I will do is present each three of these to then be worked on. There is a clip I'd like to show now that I think articulates some of this, and this really understands the flipping the classroom concept. So let me just cue it up. So take a listen to Salman Khan, founder of the Khan Academy.
But then I started getting letters from teachers. And the teachers would write saying, we've used your videos to flip the classroom. You've given the lectures. So now what we do, and this could actually happen in every classroom in America tomorrow, what I do is I assign the lectures for homework, and what used to be homework, I now have the students doing in the classroom. And I want to pause here for I want to pause here for a second because there's a couple of interesting things. One, when those teachers are doing that, there's the obvious benefit. There's the benefit that now their students can enjoy the videos in the way that my cousins did. They can pause, repeat at their own pace, at their own time. But the more interesting thing, and this is the unintuitive thing when you talk about technology in the classroom, by removing the one-size-fits-all lecture from the classroom and letting students have a self-paced lecture at home, and then when you go to the classroom, letting them do work, having the teacher walk around, having the peers actually be able to interact with each other. These teachers have used technology to humanize the classroom. They took a fundamentally dehumanizing experience, a bunch of 30 kids with their fingers on their lips, not allowed to interact with each other. A teacher, no matter how good, has to give this kind of one-size-fits-all lecture to 30 students, blank faces, slightly antagonistic. And now it's a human experience. Now they're actually interacting with each other. So
that was Salman Khan, the founder of the Khan Academy, and this is one concept that we would like to explore, is the idea of flipping the classroom. So this can be very, very local, and BMT has already gone down this road, and we're trying to start this pattern, is creating online lessons, engaging, narrated, and even personalizing these lessons. They can watch at home and then come to class with the lesson completed. The hope here is this is how you can get to differentiated learning. I have a theory that differentiated instruction is flawed because it's an impossibility if you do not accept the idea that there is differentiated learning, that every student learns at a different rate, in a different way, with a different outlook on life. And so this allows for personalization, and then allows for the teacher to be more personalized the next day. If the teacher can say, go home, here's a 10-minute video, it's a lesson, look at that, maybe do some little questions here along the way, and then come back to class, and then we're going to really work through stuff. It's very, very powerful, and it can be a game changer in a lot of ways. And so we want to sort of explore this with the teachers that are going to be in attendance. This allows for more classroom time for the teachers and can properly understand those needs. And really, the flexibility of learning environment is the thing that I think is most pressing and most important to this. It allows for things to occur and for movement and for growth in ways that weren't possible beforehand. Excuse me. So this is one aspect of what we would explore, and there could be time, or there will be time within the day of the roundtable for teachers to explore this, to think about this, to even create lessons that they can bring back with them. Here's I think here's the key though, is credit recovery and credit rescue. If you take this idea that differentiated instruction is only possible if differentiated learning is the goal, and it's an accepted idea, then you can really start to work. Technology can assist with that in things like credit recovery and credit rescue. Why? Because it'll allow teachers to be in multiple places at once. Here's my idea. My idea is, and what I would hopefully pitch to the people there, is why don't we, as a, let's say, a superintendency 7-8, why can't we pool our resources and create a credit recovery bank of lessons, possibly the ones that are most recovered, like grade 9 and 10 academic and applied math, English, French, those sorts of courses that are most used. But the problem with that is if you ask one teacher in each of these schools to create all of these lessons, to be an expert on all of them, it's not going to work. But if we have, say, 7 schools within our area 7-8, then you have 7 experts, hopefully, in different areas. And then you can create from there. And then all of a sudden, you have an incredible, if we can centralize this, which is where I've already done some work in exploring that, if we can centralize this, then we can create a repository of things that are really fantastic. They could coordinate these efforts for common subject areas, students taken from schools. And this would really help not only for that, but the student success teacher could step in for things like illness, relocation. TIPS could love this because all of a sudden they could have access to these lessons. Fantastic. Grade 8 transition is another one, and this is something that we're going to explore with our BMT SSLN. Technology can allow 7-8 classes to look at, to anticipate, to even work with the teachers that they're going to be working with in grade 9 and 10. And this can be fantastic for things like numeracy and literacy. But numeracy is the big one because we see such a gap from kids coming from grade 8. And then that's why we see these poor test scores in grade 9, because they're just not ready for it and they haven't been properly prepared. And that's the fault of the system entirely. So we need to fix that. It demystifies the expectations and alleviates some anxiety that students will have because they're already going to get a look at what high school is going to be like and what the work is going to be like. Fantastic idea. I'd just like to leave this with a video, another video by Larry Lessig, and let me just cue that up because there's some really great points in it.
Have become tools of speech. It is a literacy for this generation. This is how our kids speak. It is how our kids think. It is what your kids are as they increasingly understand digital technologies and their relationship to themselves. Much more important in business. It's the point about how this connects to our kids. We have to recognize they are different from us. This is us, right? We make mixed tapes, they remix music. We watched TV, they make TV. It is technology that has made them different. And as we see what this technology can do, we need to recognize you can't kill the instinct that technology produces. We can only criminalize it. We can't stop our kids from using it. We can only drive it underground. We can't make our kids passive again. We can only make them, quote, pirates. And is that good? We live in this weird time, this kind of age of prohibitions, where in many areas of our life, we live life constantly against the law. Ordinary people live life against the law, and that's what we are doing to our kids. They live life knowing they live it against the law. That realization is extraordinarily corrosive, extraordinarily corrupting. And in a democracy, we ought to be able to do better at least for them, if not for opening for business.
Powerful words there by Lessig. And with the argument that students today, while they're teachers, for the most part, are digital refugees. We've been brought in here. We've been, some of us, kicking and screaming into the technological age. They are digital native. This is the language that they speak. And it's irresponsible to ignore that from now on. So what we're looking here, but that is to be combined with the expertise and the knowledge and the wisdom and the guidance that a teacher can provide. And so that's why IT should stand for innovative teachers, not information technology. IT should stand for innovative teachers and teachers who are looking for new ways to reach this new style of student. The hope is that this event will be the first of many and will branch off into others. So like I said before, there will be a three-pronged attack: flipping the classroom, then student success and credit recovery, and then into the idea of grade 8 transition. I believe that the grade 8 transition can be an SSLN project, and I think we're going to focus that with BMT. So that won't require any other days, or we have those days for that. I think that flipping the classroom can be an entirely self-directed one, and they can use self-directed PD for that. But I do think that the student success, the credit recovery ideas can be and should be and need to be followed up. And so possibly there will be future endeavors for that. So this is the idea. This is the pitch. I'm incredibly excited about it, and I think that it will be something, if for nothing else, than to highlight those innovative teachers, and they certainly deserve that.